Halloween Kills is a 2021 horror slasher film directed by David Gordon Green and written by Green as well as Danny McBride and Scott, again, I want to give credit where credit is due here, Scott Teems. There, I got the whole team down, now I can talk about the film. This is a long-awaited review, not only for myself, but I'm sure for you too, as going into this year, Halloween Kills was among the top movies that I was anticipating. Halloween Kills takes place directly after Halloween, the 2018 film that takes place after the 1978 film of the same name, the John Carpenter classic. It follows, again, Michael Myers, the serial killer from Haddonfield, Illinois, as he stalks, hunts, and kills the residents of the sleepy town. Specifically, resident Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, and now 3 generations of her family as both they and the people of Haddonfield endure the trauma of Michael Myers. So that's my little synopsis of the setup for Halloween Kills. I've been very excited to talk about this film for a long time, and now having seen the film, and I'm sure I'm going to be seeing it again very soon, I'm even more excited to talk about this movie. Now, before I jump into actually getting down to the nitty-gritty, was it a good movie or was it not, I want to go in and tell you a little bit about my background to this franchise, as I think that might be important. And I also want to say, I've looked up reviews of this film. They released this film to the Venice Film Festival with very not flattering reviews. And I think that a lot of the people at that festival were looking for what I like to call high art films. And it's not that I don't like artsy films, but this is like Halloween Kills. This is like the, I forgot what, it's definitely over 10. It's like the 12th Halloween movie. And the question is it supposed to be high art, or is it supposed to be what it is? Halloween Kills comes after a long-loved, beloved franchise, one that a lot of horror fans, including myself, find near and dear. Especially in the October season, Halloween is a name that constantly comes up, and the story of Michael Myers continues to live on ever since the 70s. I'm a big fan of the franchise. I like a lot of the films in it. There are some films I'm not a huge fan of, Halloween 5 for example, and Resurrection, among others. But overall, I've loved the series. I like the different timelines and figuring out the confusing continuity. And so when this new franchise debuted, I was super excited to see what they were going to do with it. And after the 2018 film, which I very much enjoyed, I loved the style of it, I loved that it made Michael Myers intimidating again, I wanted to see what was going to happen next. And with a name like Kills, you know that the film is going to have some carnage in it. But I was curious as to what the story would be, because yeah, you know Michael Myers is going to kill people, blah, 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 blah. What is it going to offer that's different than some of the other films that we've seen? So now let's talk about the movie. That's the long setup to get to this point. What did I think of Halloween Kills? I loved it. I really did. There's a lot I can say, and there's a little I can say. I'm not going to try to spoil anything, and to be honest, there's not really a lot I could spoil. There's not like some big plot twist. There is a very simple story, and I think that's one of the reasons why this movie works so well, is it harkens back to the Halloween 1978, Halloween 2 era of this franchise, which is just Michael Myers is evil, and he goes after innocent people for no reason, and they try to put a stop to it. There are elements from the other movies incorporated into Kills. For example, you have the town coming after Michael Myers, which is taken from Halloween 4. Of course, you have the town coping with the murders, which is very similar to Halloween 2. Among other films, you have references to Halloween 3, even though Michael Myers isn't in that movie. You have references to most of the Halloween films, in fact, and that's one of the things I really liked, is that this screenplay, the writers really took on care for this franchise, and you can feel it with the homages made to the original movies and expanding upon that lore. The very opening of the film harkens back to the original Halloween and kind of shows us this new continuity and where it goes, while also adding to the mythos of Michael Myers, and that's something that I really thought was spectacular. You get a really great intro, you get a really great theme to the film, very different than the pacing and the tone of the 2018 movie, but it's something different, and I respected the shift in tone, the more melancholy sound it was going for. The substance of the movie takes the characters of Haddonfield, of this sleepy town, and kind of fleshes them out. Makes it feel lived in, makes these people feel like they know one another. So when they figure out that this boogeyman is back in their town, they all decide collectively to put an end to it. Evil dies tonight. And what you get is a mix of revenge, a mix of exploitation, a mix of dealing with mass hysteria, which is something that the film touches on very well, I thought. And of course, you have Michael Myers doing his thing all the while. I feel like there are going to be some criticisms of the movie, particularly with the blend of comedy interwoven, but you have to understand that this has David Gordon Green and Danny McBride's names on it, so it really shouldn't come as a surprise to expect a little bit of comedy flaked into it. The 2018 film had it, and I feel like with the very brutal murders that take place in this movie, you have to offer a little bit of levity to the audience so that we're not just sitting through a gore fest, which maybe some people want, but I appreciated that we got a little bit of levity with some little character quips and moments before stuff hit the fan, essentially. And I thought it was very well done. There were a few moments that were a little distracting, but nothing too crazy. I suppose my biggest gripe with Halloween Kills is the lack of Laurie Strode. In the previous movie, she's set up, she's fleshed out, she's been enthralled with Michael Myers. She thinks that he's coming back for her specifically, and she still thinks that in this movie until the people of Haddonfield kind of break it to her that he's just kind of this mindless animal beast killing people. But I loved how she was set up in the previous movie, and in this film they really just have her on the sidelines, more as a Dr. Loomis character talking about Michael than actually doing a whole lot about him. I assume they're setting up that final confrontation of Michael and Laurie for Halloween Ends, which comes out next Halloween season, which I'm very much looking forward to after this movie. And I'm not going to say what happens to lead the Halloween Ends, but let's just say things get real rough for the folks of Haddonfield and Michael Myers. But that would be the biggest downfall of the movie, is that Laurie takes a back seat to the people of Haddonfield, which I didn't have a problem with, but the marketing of the movie made it seem like this is like Laurie going after him again, and that's not really the case here. I really loved that the people of the town are integrated into the Halloween lore. You have people pranking one another, costume parties, karaoke, people telling legends and lore, and that adds to the Michael Myers mythos as more is devolved about the backstory of the town. And all of that makes this movie feel very fleshed out. I really liked how the characters kind of bounced off one another as if they all know each other. And the set pieces, the way that Michael is integrated into his environment, is very creepy. There's a lot of wide shots of, like, for example, him behind trees, him in a playground, him in a house, and you will look in the background and you think you see something, and you almost become as paranoid as the characters in the film. Really great filmmaking from the people who made this movie. I guess one other issue is, in the previous Halloween, there's several takes that are like long shots of Michael doing stuff, and I really enjoyed those. You don't really see that here. There are a few instances of that, but Michael himself almost takes a back seat in some scenes as we get kind of the chaos that results in his murders. And while that could be a complaint for some people, given that this is like the 12th Halloween movie, I didn't have a problem with them doing something different. He certainly has screen time, he certainly makes an impact, and yes, it's pretty brutal and it's pretty scary. This is Halloween Kills we're talking about here. But I like that it's not just that. It has something more that it's trying to offer here, and whether you're a longtime fan of the series or a new viewer, you're going to like that experience quite a bit. I had a blast with Halloween Kills. I think it was really fun. Not only was it entertaining, but it was scary, it was intense. You got to know these characters before stuff bad happens to them, and they valued the lives of these people. They're not just a body count. It feels real, and you want to see how it plays out, and the ending, which I won't spoil, but it's maybe what you would expect. The ending leaves on a cliffhanger that wants you to invest your time in the next movie. And that's something very talented, and it's hard to do because a lot of cliffhangers can sometimes drop the ball. This one for me didn't, the film didn't, and I had a really great time watching Halloween Kills. You could say that this movie killed it. Unlike my first reaction with Halloween 2018, I'm more pumped for this one. I want to see it a few times to solidify these opinions, and I want to hear yours in the comments down below. I'm going to give Halloween Kills a 4.5 out of 5 on my review scale. It very well could be my 4th favorite Halloween movie. That's hard for me to say as a longtime fan of this franchise, but that just goes to prove how much I really liked this movie. I love the original Halloween, first and foremost, obviously. A very unpopular opinion, and maybe one that may lose your respect here, or gain it, I don't know. But I love Halloween 3. It's a very unique film, but a lot of people disregard that because Michael Myers isn't in it, so maybe we move that aside. I love Halloween 2 as well, and then maybe this film. Again, that's hard to say. I love Halloween 4, I love the 2018 film, I love H2O. There's a lot of good movies in this franchise, but considering that I liked Halloween Kills probably more than the 2018 movie, tells you that something was done right here, and I like to see that. I like to see that originality, and I hope that that will continue in the final, I use air quotes because this is Halloween we're talking about here, the final installment of this franchise. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more Halloween talks. And if you liked this movie, or didn't, honestly, just tell me your opinion down in the comments below. Don't take my word for it. See it for yourself and garner your own opinion. Why listen to people on the internet? Enjoy Halloween Kills. Remember, for all things Halloween, this is Hauntformer.